What if your next level of confidence, of success, of wealth and love isn't just about balancing the masculine energy and feminine energy that, by the way, we all have within us? What if it was actually about them falling deeply in love? This is not just a fantasy. It was really a game changer for me. So today we are exploring something both ancient and deeply modern, the divine inner union of masculine and feminine energy. Hi people soul, it feels so good to have you here with me today. Remember a moment when you fell deeply in love. Recall the magic of that moment. Well, it's the same within. When your masculine energy and your feminine energy fall deeply in love, you feel whole. You feel safe in your softness. You feel grounded in your power. You feel connected to your body, to your vision, and to your heart, to your soul. It feels like you are deeply in love with yourself. There is a form of love that is infatuation or elation. When you feel that love is the honeymoon phase and it will slowly fade away to make space for a deeper love. I love this definition of love. Love is the synthesis and synchronicity of all complementary opposites. That definition is from my favorite mentor, Dr. John DeMartini. What I love about this is that type of love is unconditional love because it allows us to embrace everything, the positive aspects, the negative aspects, the support, the challenges. And with that kind of love, it becomes eternal love because it's not about, I will love you when you behave like this. It's like, I love you for who you are. And imagine having that kind of love for yourself, that kind of love for the masculine within you and for the feminine within you. And those two energies having that kind of love for each other. Imagine having a relationship where you can love someone like that unconditionally, accepting, embracing all aspects of themselves. This is true love. And this leads us to our next section, which is about the archetypes. Embracing all aspects of ourselves means that we embrace all the personas within us, what we can call the archetypes. So we will explore some feminine archetypes and some masculine archetypes. And it's about those falling in love with each other, we embracing all of those archetypes within us as well. And those archetypes will have some light expression and some shadow expression. The light expression is a higher frequency expression of that archetype, of that quality in us. And the lower aspect is going to be a lower vibrational or lower frequency expression of that archetype, the shadow aspect. It's about embracing and integrating all of them. This is the real unconditional love. Again, the synthesis and the synchronicity of all complementary opposites. Okay, let's meet the archetypes that live within you. These are not fixed roles, but living energies. Each has a light expression and a shadow. Although we will tend to express some of the archetype more easily and naturally, we carry all of them within us. And the more integrated they are, the more whole we feel, the more loved we feel, the more complete we feel. Okay, let's talk about the feminine archetypes first. The first one is the maiden. She is juvenile. She has innocence, play, wonder. She brings freshness and renewal. In her shadow aspect, the maiden has naivety and she avoids responsibility. She also resists growing up and trusting herself. The next archetype is the lover. She has sensuality, magnetism, and emotional presence. She ignites passion and intimacy. In her shadow aspect, the lover can be obsessive, manipulative, and her self-worth is tied to external attention and validation. Another shadow aspect is that she seduces to feel loved. Now let's talk about the mother. She's loving, she's nurturing, compassionate, creative. She births and sustains life. In her shadow aspect, the mother can be smothering, overgiving to the point of martyrdom. She loses herself in others. Alright, moving on to the queen. She's sovereign, she's confident, she's a natural leader. She leads with grace and presence. In her shadow aspect, she can be prideful, over-controlling, and perceived as cold. She lives through fear and detachment. The next archetype is the huntress. She's independent, purposeful, and has fierce clarity. She chases her desires with passion. In a shadow aspect, the huntress can be hyper-independent to the point of isolation and disconnection from others. She actually pushes others away in order to feel strong. Moving on to the next archetype, which is the mystic. She is spiritually inclined and has inner knowing. She is very intuitive. She trusts the unseen and the divine. In a shadow aspect, the mystic tends to avoid anything related to the material world to the point of escapism or disassociation, and she tends to hide from earthly responsibilities. Moving on to the next feminine archetype, which is the wise woman. She has maturity, wisdom, and transformation. She carries the codes of experience and evolution. In her shadow aspect, the wise woman can be bitter and have cynicism and be so detached. Another shadow aspect is that she withholds her wisdom and disconnects from life. Moving on to the next archetype, one that we all need to return to some degree in our modern society, which is the wild woman. The wild woman has authenticity, primal power, and instinct. She lives unapologetically in her truth. But in her shadow aspect, she can have chaos and rage, and she tends to resist structure. Another shadow aspect is that she tends to rebel without direction. From these feminine archetypes, you don't have to choose only one. You are actually already every one of them. A maiden with wonder, a lover with sensuality and intimacy, a queen with your grace, a mother with your unconditional love, and a wise woman with the wisdom that you know intuitively. A wild woman with your own level of authenticity. These energies dance within you, waiting to be seen, to be heard, and to be expressed. Some you already express naturally, others are dormant, waiting for you to recall your power. Now moving on to the masculine archetypes, because just as we have the feminine energy within us, we all have the masculine energy within us as well, regardless of our gender. So what are the masculine archetypes? The first one is the king. The king has purpose, vision, benevolence, and order. He blesses and builds legacy. In his shadow aspect, he can have tyranny, arrogance, or passivity. He dominates and abdicates. Moving on to the next archetype, which is the warrior. The warrior has discipline, courage, boundaries, and takes action. He protects and pushes with clarity. In his shadow aspect, the warrior can be aggressive, can have burnout, and suppresses his emotion. He fights everything, even himself. The next masculine archetype is the magician. He has insight, transformation, and he holds sacred knowledge. He is also strategic. In his shadow aspect, he can be manipulative, deceitful, or detached. Another shadow aspect is that he hides the truth and withholds power. Alright, the next masculine archetype is the lover. He is devoted, present, and capable of connection. He awakens the senses and opens the heart. In his shadow aspect, he can have addiction, impulsiveness, and codependence. He seeks completion through others. And just like the feminine, the masculine archetypes live within you too. You are the king who leads, the warrior who takes aligned action, the magician who transforms, and the lover who feels. When these inner archetypes harmonize, you no longer need external validation and approval. You become your own source. Now, if you are thinking that this sounds too abstract or esoteric, know this. These archetypes are just like leadership style or personality traits. They are tools, not dogma. And integrating them doesn't mean that you become suddenly perfect. It just means that you become present and aware of all aspects of you. Alright, now I want to give you one practical integration tip. Pick one archetype today, a masculine one or a feminine one. Dress like her or him. Speak like her or him. Rest like her or him. Lead like her or him. And watch your energy shift. One example in my own life where the integration became clear is when, for example, you want to say no. The inner queen sets the boundary, and the lover within you does the softer delivery. Like instead of just saying no, you can say something like, oh, thank you so much for thinking about me, but I will not be able to do this. And if the person tries to push and bully you, you can be like, oh, thank you so much, but no, thank you, right? So being firm, but being loving at the same time. Being loving, but not let people use you as the doormat. All right, now let's talk about what inner union looks like. We have talked about this analogy before. Your feminine energy being that flowing river. She's so creative, so sensual, so trusting, so playful, so alive. And your masculine energy being the riverbank. He's solid, he has purpose, he's present, he's offering and providing direction and discipline and structure. Well, when they fall in love, the feminine can bloom because she feels safe. And the masculine shines because he has purpose. She feels safe to fully express, to create, to receive, and have fun. And the masculine feels fulfilled, purposeful. He is in service to her essence. She inspires his action and he protects her flow. Instead of competing for dominance, they co-create their reality. So when they are in love, we have union of flow and form, union of intuition and execution, union of magnetism and movement. And this inner union is not just something poetic, it actually changes how we show up in the world, how we show up in our business, in our relationship, even in our body, in our self-expression. Now moving on to some signs of a loving inner union. First one is that you trust your intuition and you take bold, aligned action. The next one is that you can rest without guilt. And when you lead, it's not from a place of fear, but it's from a place of grace and love. And you don't abuse your power. The next sign is that you are able to set strong boundaries with grace. Another sign of a loving inner union is when you no longer outsource love or worthiness. You know your inner worth. You know that you are loved just for existing. The next sign is that you feel both radiant and grounded at the same time. And you feel safe taking action because your inner feminine trusts your inner masculine. You can be in flow without the fear of chaos because your inner masculine supports you. You see, if you just do what you want and you rely only on pleasure, you can easily end up in chaos. But when your inner masculine is there to provide some discipline, some structure for the things that are really important to you, for the things that you value most, then you trust that you will not end up in chaos because that structure, that discipline is making sure that the things that are important are always taken care of. Another important sign is that you stop looking for external validation. You will receive attention from other people, but you don't rely on it to define your worth or to define if you are loved. You understand from your inner union that you are already whole, that you are already fulfilled. And so you don't need the external validation to feel loved and fulfilled and worthy. Another sign is that in business, your business decisions feel both intuitive and aligned. You experience deeper joy in love, in self-expression, and in creation. You also experience deeper joy in your ability to receive wealth. In a divine, loving inner union, you become magnetic because you are not missing anything. You understand that you are already whole. Again, it's not about giving you the illusion of once you have that divine inner union, you will be perfect, because this is not how it works. It's really about embracing all aspects of yourself as much as you can with the awareness that you have right now. That is all. So now let's talk about how to cultivate that sacred relationship, that sacred union within. The first thing is journaling. Journaling and having an inner dialogue within your inner feminine and your inner masculine. What does she need to hear? What does he need to hear? So the feminine generally wants to be loved, to be appreciated for who she is, to be desired, to be cherished. And so talk to her in those terms. Tell her how much you love her. Tell her how beautiful she is. Tell her how you are devoted to her, how she is taken care of, how you will take care of her, right? And to the inner masculine, he wants to be respected, to be seen and loved for who he is. He wants to be appreciated in the action that he does. So give him the appreciation, show him that you see what he's doing, that you trust him, right? Instead of criticizing him. The next practical tip for cultivating that inner relationship is to have embodiment practices. For the feminine, she loves flow. So it will be about dancing, about moving her body, about connecting deeper to her senses. And for the masculine, since he loves structure and discipline, it will be about having more planning in your life, having more strategy, having more discipline, having goals and getting to achieve those goals, taking aligned action daily that align with those goals. And for both, we need some stillness and presence, because that is the essence of their magnetism. You can also create some rituals, like having your gratitude ritual, where you imagine them both meeting and thanking each other for their gifts. For example, the feminine can thank the masculine for his intelligence, for his savviness, for his analytic mind that can strategize and make plans. And the masculine can thank the feminine for her intuitive nature, for her creativity, for her beauty, her ability to express herself so beautifully and with grace. Those are aspects of yourself, but if we want to think in terms of masculine and feminine, then we can divide them like that. And so those two energies within you can talk to each other and love each other, recognize, acknowledge the gifts of each other, which in turn will help them feel valued. The next tip is to track imbalance. You need awareness to understand when one part is more dominating than the other one, and invite that other part back. For example, if you are working too hard and strategizing too much, then you can invite the feminine to come in with some creative ideas, with some innovative idea, or you can invite her to come and lead you to rest more, to heal more, to have restoration, to recharge yourself first before you come back to work, right? Or you can invite the feminine to bring on playfulness in your work, so that your work doesn't feel like work, but it feels like you are just playing, you are just enjoying what you are doing. You are giving your service of love to the world. That is how the feminine sees her work. The next tip is to balance your energy centers. You can visualize them emanating light. The masculine is represented by our solar plexus, and the feminine is represented by our sacral energy center. We can imagine those centers emanating light, right, and being in union in the heart center. But actually, it is about balancing all the aspects of ourselves, meaning that we can use all the basic 7 energy centers or 7 chakras. We will have higher expression for each energy center and lower expression of those energy centers, just like we saw the higher aspect of our archetypes for the feminine archetypes and for the masculine archetypes. So it will be the same with our energy centers. And bringing them in balance really bring us a sense of wholeness. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about attaining one day something where we can say, okay, now I have understood everything, but it's about dancing with those energy constantly. You have a hierarchy where we start at the root and we go up to the crown. And life will make sure to call you in one aspect that needs your attention more. Is it the light aspect of that center, or is it the shadow aspect of that center that needs your attention more? The more you integrate it, the more you go to the next lesson to learn in life. And so it is in life. So you don't need to choose between power or softness. You don't need to choose between strategy or surrender, because you are all of it. Flow with it, dance with it. Let your intuition guide you when to be surrendered, when to be strategic, and just dance with it. When to be powerful and when to be softer. It's about the divine dance, the sacred dance between our energies, always. Alright, people, so let's go into a small activation now for our inner union of divine masculine and divine feminine. So close your eyes. You can put one hand on your solar plexus and another one on your sacral energy center, forefinger below your navel. Or you can put both hands in your heart, on your heart, representing the union of your masculine energy and your feminine energy. The integration at the heart center. In love, they are united. Imagine them meeting, facing one another. Maybe they bow in reverence with respect and love and appreciation for each other. They send blessing to each other instead of dominating. Instead of fighting for who is dominant, who is stronger, they bless each other because they understand that they are complementary. Just like the symbol of the yin and yang, one does not exist without the other. And in one, the other exists. They can find themselves in each other. So feel the union. What does it feel like for you to have them fall deeply in love? Not the elation necessarily, not the infatuation necessarily, but that deep unconditional love where we have the synthesis, the synchronicity of all complementary opposites. In simpler terms, where we accept, we love, we embrace all aspects of ourselves, the light aspect and the shadows aspect. Imagine them talking to each other. They give thanks for their gift. What is the feminine telling to your masculine? What is the masculine telling to your feminine? Now imagine them talking about their needs. Are there some unfulfilled needs? What is it for the feminine? What is it for the masculine? Or maybe they are both fulfilled because you take care of them regularly. So they express their appreciation for you taking care of them. For the masculine taking care of the feminine, for the feminine taking care of the masculine in their own ways. They express their love, they hug each other, maybe they kiss passionately, they look in each other's eyes, and they understand so much more without even having to say any words. And you understand so much more as well. So express your gratitude, send them blessings, and send them your love as well. Promise them that you will never be in the fight again about who is better than the other, but you will work for the integration always. You will respect them both, love them both, bless them both, integrate them both, and not even try to separate them in the first place. Because at the soul level, we are both masculine and feminine. So there is no separation. We are just a beautiful soul. So imagine your inner king and your inner queen, your magician, your lover, your wild woman, your warrior, all bowing to each other, all seeing and worshipping each other, all holding space for each other. This is beautiful. This is integration. This is sacred union. This is sacred marriage. Not to become somebody new, but to remember who you already are. So thank both of them, even their representation in this world. Everything masculine, we thank them, we bless them, we love them. Everything feminine, we thank them, we love them, we bless them. Thank you, I love you, I bless you. Thank you so much, beautiful soul, soul family. Sending you so much love, abundance, and many, many blessings. How do you feel after this small activation, meditation, visualization? All right, beautiful soul, gorgeous soul family. You don't need to be perfect. Remember, you don't need to choose only one. You are already all of them, and that is your power. That is your magnetism. And that is the most beautiful love story ever. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. If you want to go even deeper, then check out my courses. The links are in the description below. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Until next time, stay very inspired. I love you.